but it does take time to get adjusted. But Slash is by far one of the most flexible players out there.
Yeah, honestly, like...
He'll play whatever. It doesn't matter.
He really is an excellent player.
He will also pioneer many gun choices we see later. We talked about that before with the Capitão's LMG, IQ's LMG, as well as being one of the few people that can control the SMG-12 very well. Border, a map we saw a fair amount second half of last season as well. So
one thing more about Slash is that the man is known for sniping people across the map with a Vector. The man is an excellent mirror. I mean, I think we're getting the message across that Slash is really good.
It was a good pickup. It was a lucky pickup for this team that the Rogue disbanded because, of course, it meant they had that opportunity. So, obviously, the Vertical didn't fare as well in terms of his performance since then, but...
What are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
LG, I tend to agree with this.
Yeah. I think it's... I mean, I maybe would have given a bit more to LG just because of their experience now in Pro League, but at the same time, eUnited had a pretty good showing so far, so definitely possibilities there, and... It does take time. The interesting part is they're going to have both a similar story in that when you come in from CL, as I said earlier, you tend to play a bit differently than you would in PL, and then you kind of learn how to adapt. Luminosity have already gone through that sort of hazing process. EU, or eUnited, so it's so weird to say EU and not be talking about Europe, has to deal with that as well, but they've been adapting pretty decently, whereas Luminosity seem like they're having a little bit of a rough start. So... It's funny enough, too, that last time Luminosity played this map last season, they lost it to Rogue. Capitão, first ban there, coming out for Luminosity. Too bad, too, because Slash plays me in Capitão, but does not want eUnited bringing it. This being Border, that makes a lot of sense. Capitão very strong in those Armory Lockers attacks, but also can be useful for smoke plants on other sites, as well as getting people out of some tough positions, like Fountain. Definitely spots you don't want to have to contest with 90-degree angles, things like that. Nomad, also a very common ban on this map, and the second time we've seen it banned today is... Or no, I'm sorry, we didn't see it. I'm thinking of earlier during EU we saw it banned. But we have not seen it banned at NA till now. But it's a very strong one on this map. Valkyrie, also a decent one on this map.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily a must ban unless you're really like scared of runouts, mostly because of the side of the map where there's the smoking car and all those other areas where it's very difficult to find the cameras. And there's a couple good run out spots, especially the AC unit outside. Very common run out. Pretty much have to Claymore or Nomad, which in this case they can't now. Mira ban, no surprise, as well. This was the map that really put Mira on the map.
Now, actually, we're having a chat about this. I think it was yesterday, a couple days ago, where we're kind of remembering the olden days of pre-ban operator bans, where Mira would be played even in. Not just in Fountain, but played from CCTV, looking down into Fountain. That's the olden days strat, and how none of that really happens anymore, just because you have so many new operators and a different way of playing.
I feel like eventually we're either going to have to rotate operators out or add more bans, too, because it's just going to get crazy.
Yeah, actually, today I was so happy. It was like, oh, I can't wait to get on and play Rainbow Six Siege, and then you check, and then you see that there's an actual patch where Clash gets reintroduced into the game. And you're like, yeah, I might have fixed her, but it's kind of okay without playing against Clash.
Yeah, something you didn't want to have to deal with. Goyo getting 6-spec 2. You see all 3 shields in there. This is something Luminosity, I highlighted, I did a little bit of an article. I'm not plugging it, but just saying, like, breaking down LG's use of Goyo before was very strong.
The man knows his numbers. He knows his setups.
It was a really good defense, and I understand why they're bringing it again, as especially sneaking as a 6-pick. We actually saw a Goyo ban on Border earlier in EU, specifically because it's so strong in Armory Lockers. It's really difficult to deal with, as you saw 3 shields in there, because, well, if you start blowing them up when they try and plant, they're probably not planting anytime soon during that. Plus, you've got the smoke on top of it. You've got Echo with the denial from his yokai as well. Planting is going to be very difficult if they want to go that route. I think they're going to have to go offices, and I think part of the idea is you funnel them so that they either have to make a lot of utility sacrifices and burn a lot of time trying to take Armory Lockers, or they have to go the offices side to try and get to archives, and then you just set up for that defense as well, and they could have a yokai in there to help with that. They very likely have a 4th shield as well from the Echo or the smoke, something they did in those previous strats. So overall, this is going to be a very shield-heavy defense. Now, they've got some utility to deal with in that they have Zofia and the Buck with grenades, but that's limited utility. If you use one of those per shield, those Evil Eyes stay up. And that's the thing is, Luminosity just have to make sure to spread them out just far enough that a single grenade will not be enough to take out 2.
it's the same thing that we saw in Cafe in our last game, right? You're playing in Cocktail Bar, you can put so many shields in there if you want to, and if you stack them up correctly, even if a grenade is placed perfectly in the center, it would still not be enough to blow more than one of them.
Yeah, and that was something they corrected in some of their early strategies of using the Goyo, was just, and this is during the SI quals that I'm talking about, was just spreading them out a little bit better. And they looked like they did a pretty good job of that this time. They were staggered around in a nice placement, because the Zofia lifeline is going to do is very limited, like very constrained damage. The splash on it's very small, so you're not going to get 2 utility with it or 2 gadgets downed with it. Now they are going to stun with the Thatcher, and really that could be useful to try and take out an Evil Eye without using a lifeline. Really, that's what they should try and do if they can to conserve utility. But looks like at least 1 shield down.
See, that shield denies the plant in default.
Yep.
At least one of your default plants.
There's the
default is right
yokai
on.
in offices that I was expecting.
There's a yokai, plus the defenders can immediately blow one of those Goyo shields up.
There's 2 down.
There's 2 down. There's still 1 more.
And that prevents the other.
There we go.
go.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, that was not.
I'm just gonna applaud it, like, hey, this was correctly placed, and then you're like, no, actually.
See, the problem with that too is if you wanted to use it from half wall, the defender gets to push from the archive side. That would also not work. So then you would get burned out of half wall. So that seems like a really poor choice.
Is that a Maestro? Is that a Maestro? Yes, it was.
Oh.
No, that was a Goyo. Doodle's gonna get shot down there. I don't know. I just saw like a really long barrel, expecting it to be the Maestro, but it was Goyo. We're not going to talk about people's barrels here. There's yokai drones that are spaced and prepared all around the map. Here's Forrest. It's going to drop Factor. There's the run-in, and Rexon's going to be able to find 1 and 2. Diffuser's not being set right now, but that play on the sandwich window is huge. Slash trying to time things correctly, call it going in. The Echo drone is not spotted yet. That's really the worst thing about not bringing something like an IQ. There's Reed. They'll get 1. Hyena, they can go and stop it. There we go. No diffuser to be planted. There's an Echo drone watching. There is Hyena turning around the corner. You can just throw bodies.
Yeah.
The fact, I don't know who it was. Was it the Jaeger that just ran in?
Yeah, to kill the guy in Sandwich. It was Rexon, I believe. He rotated up from metal stairs because the problem with eUnited's attack is they weren't flanking anywhere. It was pretty one-dimensional, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but the Sandwich play is obviously the counter to try and make sure you don't have to play anywhere else, right? You cut off rotations. Sandwich's job specifically is to stop what Jaeger did. But because Jaeger was anticipating the play there and knew that the player in the other spot on the other side of lockers was mid-plant, because of course the Echo was going to be calling that out. So they knew he was planting. That gave Rexon the opportunity to rush right around. And even if you're, contested, it's worth trying to contest Sandwich, because if you don't try and contest it, you're going to get shot by Sandwich. So that was well played by Rexon and really well played by the Echo. Just stalling out. He didn't overuse his yokais. Each one of them he tried to time to be the very end of when it would be just before a plant so that he could space out. Because you only get 2 before you have to recharge. And of course, I believe the other yokai was still likely to be in offices unless he rotated it and or possibly lost it. They're going to be bringing a IQ this time to try and deal with it, but there's no Echo this time. And they're not going to go with the Goyo strat again because, of course, this is vents. They don't need it necessarily. It still could be useful. But if we see them go back to armory lockers, I would hope they correct that placement, the one on half wall. Very poorly placed. Giving them that for free from the doorway, which is usually going to be pretty easy to shoot from. They could have probably done that shot from CCTV.
Yeah, that was true. But there was nobody in CCTV because the entirety of the setup from LG was to play from downstairs. Now, eUnited came up and tried to push in there, but the problem, as you said, very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't know if they even rotated someone into
it was hard to see.
Break room.
Really tell where everyone was. But
having someone just holding in break room would have been great as well.
Well, yeah, if they would have been able to go over to 90 just before Rexon rotated up, they could, of course, cut him off mid-rotate. I don't know if that would have been a save it, though. The yokais were doing their job, and they might have just lost on time regardless because of Echo. But they're bringing the IQ this round. Hopefully they bring it 2 rounds from now when they end up going back to armory lockers.
Exactly. That's really the operator that's going to change things. Now, having the IQ in general is kind of it's a bonus. You can use her, but the Echo had already done his work, and because we're going down to bottom floor and workshop, you're not really going to need to deal with that Echo anymore. It's a bit more difficult to hide the Echo in positions where you can...
That's the thing, is he needs to stay alive.
Exactly.
That's the tough spot, right? There's not a lot of good positions for that. For those of you who were wondering, too, the reason Zofia was in a break room looking straight up the way he was to get the default cam, then you just got a second default cam as well.
Yeah.
And then to clear out anyone placing bandit batteries on that wall, which of course they were playing bandit, now allows Callout to open the wall so they could start to push these 2 trapped in office. Slash gonna be vicious with this shorty. try and do some damage if they push up through metal. See, Reed just trying to make sure no one pushes his teammates while they get set up. Trax going out as well.
I don't know about that, Trax. I don't understand why.
It should have been thrown a little bit closer so they couldn't shoot the main one. If you shoot the main one, it stops the leapfrogging.
So I don't know why. It's like a Matryoshka doll.
Yeah. That's the one counter is shooting the main one. So
LG are still holding on. This was very ballsy.
I like how he went to pistol just to be slightly faster on the run.
Reed's gonna find Rexen though. It's the entry you are looking for there, at least on the Jaeger, but Doodle's still alive. It's very difficult to deal with where Reed is, but if you're Doodle, you are pretty much boned right now. There's 3 players.
But look how much time he's burning doing it.
There's so many people that are looking at him, and he's still safe. Oh, I say that.
Yeti with a grenade from below says, you know, my scouting key's not working because the angle's too sharp.
Yep.
I know what will. Little surprise. But Hyena finds one back, and there's 2 of them. There, he takes up the spot of his deceased comrade and finds 2 from it. That's half wall is just destroying them right now. 35 seconds left. 3v3, a little low health for Hyena, but he's still in position to deny any plant attempt on B.
So Grix are realizing that a lot of this wall here is soft, can just come in, but Yeti is going to get 2 kills, one of them now on Hyena. 2v3 as he gets one more on a smoke. A 3K for Yeti. All onto Slash with a P10 Roni and a Nitro Cell. Fusion's just going to get planted. There's the Buck finding one. Oh, Slash, can he go for the shotty kill? Go! Oh, he got them all! Oh, 3K! Slash, are you kidding me? The Sharknado!
He almost couldn't switch to the shotgun. The bullet ballet.
Oh, baby! There's just no way!
Even his teammates just laughing that one off. That's a Pojo LOL drop kind of play.
Oh, no!
That is...
Okay. Can we go back and talk about how many times we applauded Slash for being a player that he...
He played so well, he left the game. He laughed so hard he broke his computer. Oh, he crashed after that. He played it so hard his computer couldn't take it. Too much. Wow.
Oh, no.
The Slash crash.
Oh,
that was... That's a momentum breaker right there, but man, what a play.
man.
What a play. That was... I mean, I don't... The only thing I could say they could have done better from eUnited, of course, was to hit their shots. But...
Can we just put that in a really good frag movie?
I mean, that's getting clipped for sure. Like, that was desperate.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If you want to farm... Well, it's already too late right now, but farming that Red of Karma is like 30 seconds ago.
It's probably 3 threads already. It's just... That was...
Mods! Mods, please. But... Yeah. Honestly, that was pure skill. There's no way around it. He knew that there was someone planting right next to them. They're right next to him. It's in default plant right behind the server. He gets the first kill in the Buck walking in and then turns around. Where's your support? There's supposed to be that Zofia that's playing inside.
Just came slightly too late.
I mean, he's not even supposed to walk into the hallway. He's supposed to hold on to the angle from inside of the stock room.
Yeah.
So that's really the position that the Zofia should be in. Unfortunately, he was kind of a bit preoccupied in somewhere else, and bam,
it all... lack of intel where Slash was playing,
It just happened in 5 seconds.
I'm sure the comms for eUnited were just chaos at that point. Just screaming, he killed me, you know, just that frantic.
How did you kill me? How did I lose that?
This is that moment
such a headshot.
Yeah, the moment of shock when you're like thinking you got it. And I'm sure the planter was, you know, after the first guy died, was calling for support from Zofia, but it just did not happen. And that probably shouldn't have worked.
The Roni of all things.
He knew he was having to dodge, like he knew the switch of the guns was going to take some time. So you saw him preemptively dodging back and forth to make the shot harder. Because it's at close range, if they were running an ACOG there, they were going to be too zoomed in. We saw that from an earlier fight. How tough it could be to fight close range with the ACOG from the Zofia.
You know, though, I think it all came down to the shotgun secondary on Mossy Gridlock.
It's so helpful to have
that thing is so strong, but the fact that you can rechamber around so fast between them, it just...
You only get 3 shots, but you can make them count at close range.
You really can. Do not underestimate it.
Yeah.
It will shred through people.
Well...
Is it the time now we do our Kicks and Tarot, like, general... talk and just talk about skins or whatever?
No. What I want to talk about is LG are doing one thing really well, burning time. I think they're doing great. The 2 rounds they won were both off. I mean, That last one was a little bit more off of Slash's clutch, but the reason it was clutch and he was able to pull it off is he burned so much time. You saw the players trying to play behind the half wall and doing so much work from that set up the possibility of that to even happen. Because they were desperate for plant, they had to run into a position before everyone could be completely in the right position to defend it, before they could find out where Slash was, because they had so little time left.
Yep.
In the previous round before that, a little more obvious with the Echo, for example, and all the Goyo shields. Playing time. We saw it very well from Reciprocity in the previous match as well, and I think it's important to highlight sometimes how much we talk about kills and things like that all the time, but playing time, the way they are, is doing quite well for them. Now, of course, they've won vents. They're going to have to go to a third site, whether it's going to be Bathroom Tellers. I believe it looked like it was going to be Bathroom Tellers.
We're not in the game.
Yes, I've already written that down, so yeah, they were going to go Bathroom Tellers.
So they played Workshop, they won that. They played
either that or Customs. So, and they were already comfortable playing the Castle for vents, so it's Castle's, of course, good again for Bathroom Tellers. You don't have to, but it's pretty much a key component of holding that office, because you don't want the double door to work against you from that hallway, because it's not too hard. You can even potentially ring some shots out from the other side of the map, practically through the windows. I think there's some angles through that doorway towards Fountain, so you really don't want to leave that door open. You really want to force them to come in, but of course it is tricky, because if you lose offices and the hatches are open like they're usually going to be, it was very difficult to hold Tellers.
How very interesting of you to highlight set points.
Intriguing.
Very intriguing. Thought-provoking. Not disconcerting, though.
Not yet.
Here we are, though. Let's hope that everything is fixed up on Slash's side, but at least how...
I feel like after that, he probably walked away from his keyboard for a moment laughing, just before he came back to reboot the
Honestly,
game.
I would just...
Although, I don't know. I almost can't picture Slash laughing. He's so... he's the calmest guy on Earth. If you've ever seen his interviews, the guy sounds like he either just woke up or needs to go to bed all the time. It's hilarious.
Come here often, actually. Everybody's loading.
Yeah, still finishing loading in, because of course they have to cache everything. As you do when you first get in the match, you have to load everything back up. And of course they've got all the data to sync and things like that. It takes a little bit longer, but it seems like it's taking a little bit longer than usual. So hopefully we're not having
everybody on potato computers.
I know, get an SSD, guys.
Is this Pro League or not?
All right, well, I'm assuming there's a possibility we could have some server issues. We had a little bit of those during EU earlier, unfortunately. So hopefully it'll just click over here at any moment. But I would hope we don't have to do a rehost of a rehost, but at least we have only 2 rounds of data to put in. There we go.
We in?
The hamster woke up, as they say.
Defenders,
there we go.
protect your bombs from being destroyed.
It was just suspense. Building suspense.
Thanks so much for that. Rainbow
Bomb
Gods.
located by attackers.
They're up there where you see the rainbows, specifically. Slash going to be the one on that castle. Operator ban rate, interestingly enough. Mira, only 52%. That's surprising. Nomad, as I said, up there pretty high. Same with Valkyrie. Captau, also, still banned here. So, pretty good choices, pretty common choices here for this map.
10 seconds.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed. There's only 2 posts on the subreddit right now about that Slash clutch.
That's disappointing.
Honestly, guys, come on. Well, if anything, people are learning that only 1 post can go live.
Well, one's enough, yeah.
Yeah, and the first one that goes up,
wins the karma.
Wins all the karma. There you go.
That's what you need to appease the rainbow gods.
So, eUnited now definitely not feeling great after that last round.
You know what, though? They were close to winning that. They still got to feel good about the fact they almost pulled that off.
That break at least might allow them to kind of relax. Be like, okay, let's think about it again.
Knowing Yeti, he just pounded another rain and he's not relaxing at all.
Another energy substitute drink, yes.
Yeah.
That is somehow very popular, and I'm not going to talk about the fact that a lot of these are kind of banned in the European Union for a very good reason. But Track Stinger is going to be thrown out here to stop any rotations, also into CCTV. Forrest is wasting no time here doing the basics as a gridlock hatch is opened up. The entire point of it is to push through Armory, walk into office, clear things out from there, and then you can push into Bathroom Tellers. However, looks like Luminosity's defense here is very much spread out. They even have the castle, I believe, Slash, playing downstairs, setting him for grenade here, the bug. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Bandit batteries can't do much
There you
against
go.
Thatcher there.
Oh, it's still on top of that, there was a grenade just to push the Bandit away. So it was well timed for eUnited here. Grenade plus the thermite for the Thatcher charge there. Plus, Thermite, of course, call out here to open up the triple wall. Getting to office. It's a good late round rotation, actually. Plus, you can hold any flanks. If somebody's coming out the stairs. In general, break room is really a power position. I think is really underestimated how strong that position can be.
It really is, especially if they don't drone well. And a lot of times they can kind of miss someone there. But you got Bandit just playing the own hole. He's like, you can open the wall, but I'm not going to let you walk in it for free. Rexon takes one down. That's Grixer. There's the Zofia down. That's going to hurt them a little bit here on this entry. And then Factor finding one under Reed as well. Good start for Luminosity. Try and push this back because they are so concerned with opening and getting through this whole smoke, delaying it as well. He's got a shield to protect him from the window that's still castle barricaded. They don't have any utility to open it. They just punch it.
Those barricades are just so good. People talk about castles being this redundant operator, but honestly, do not underestimate the power that he can bring. Disruption. Oh, what a shot from Slash all the way from downtown in Customs. One kill close to the second, but no. Only more damage done to Forrest that he forces him to reload the F90. He's going to be walking into Customs. There you go.
He did plenty of work from there, though. That burned up a lot of time. 15 seconds left. They have no real progress.
Yeah, 3 players in, and Luminosity have, I guess, 3 players upstairs. They're watching. They have all the advantages in this one. That's really the weakness of the site. But what a bathroom. There's Hyena coming around the flank. Yeti will find one. You got to come in at the same time together. There's 1 kill, 2 kills for Yeti. But Forrest is going to try to stick the diffuser. A wise decision. However, you can't just get all of those kills. Yeti did so much work this round, though.
Problem is, even if the diffuser got planted at that point, you still would have died because you wouldn't have won those fights. So, well done by LGS. 3 defenses in a row here. Looking pretty solid. Definitely want to keep this up if they can get as much lead as possible. We saw how strong that was for SSG, getting their lead on defense on Cafe. Now they can go back to Armory Lockers. So there's the 6th pick again. Same 6th pick from Mozzie to Goyo. We'll likely see those shields set up a little bit better this time. If they saw that that poor setup gave them a shield for free. Which, again, doesn't make sense to have it facing that direction anyways. I mean, unless the hope is that, like, if they go to grenade it from the other side. No, I don't, never mind. I don't see any real logic in placing that way. If there is, you know, feel free to tweet at me or whatever and let me know what that logic is. But maybe set them up a little bit differently. We've got Doodle setting one up in the hallway towards 90 there. And then one set up from the Echo in the metal doorway. Just to make it a little bit harder for a flank to come out. Reinforce Fountain a little bit as well to make sure that they can't get any easy angles in or out. They definitely don't want a flank coming to them. They want to be able to play this farther back and uncontested as much as possible. So maybe they won't even correct that one shield. They just won't place it. It'll be replaced by the one in the hallway. And that's what it looks like is the case. So just prevent the flank. Keep the 2 that were delaying them or burning up some of the utility. They have the Zofia. They have the Buck. So those are likely not going to last forever, but they are going to force some utility to come out. And again, they have to choose what do we destroy? And at least 2 shields likely to stay up if they clear out both the Evil Eyes. So that is important to note. It's just the resource game. They didn't bring an Ashe in addition to the Zofia. And that was always the fear, right? That if with Goyo in play, you have to bring an Ashe and a Zofia to be able to deal with them all. But of course, you could bring a Buck and a Sledge. So there are alternatives to doing that.
Is very true.
Or they could give IQ back to grenades.
Although I'm a big fan of IQ and grenades as well.
I mean, I don't know. I could go either way on that. Obviously, there's a lot of proponents.
I'm neutral on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of proponents of it, but IQ's pick rate is actually gone way up since the lack of grenades for other reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're not just anticipating a need for a change.
The fact that they not only took her grenades back then, but reduced her scan range to 15 meters instead of 20. Was
still
just
picked more now because of all the utility that defenders have now.
At least they brought her up to 20, which actually makes her like actually useful. Oh, what a shot!
Doodle downed already. That's the Goyo again. The first kill I was talking about earlier, how often they die first. That was just bad positioning and awareness. They also didn't really do anything to control CCTV at all. Try and fight back.
Obviously, that gridlock kill there was off of just great droning downstairs. Yeah. So
here's what we'll see though. Can eUnited push a little bit faster? Time is why they won the first time around on this.
There's a yokai drone inside, and Slash is on it right now. Hyena will find Reed. And they're actually watching all the attackers turn. Mosey on into the side. Rexon still holding on to those metal stairs, and that's a very powerful position. Fighting up on the stairs is never good.
No, you don't want to be dealing with that because you have to fight at angles where it's a little less likely you're going to shoot the head if you're coming upwards. You're likely to shoot them in the middle or the legs. Rexon with a good kill there onto Forest. Luminosity is still winning this despite the early kill on the Doodle, but Yeti at least gets Factor out. That's smoke off the board. That's some of their delay gone. Now a lot more rides on Slash playing that Echo perfectly. At least Hyena trying to defend him and doing a good job of it after he's already dead.
Rexon, great job to shut down Yeti. That's your flank watch pretty much done and dusted right now. Can't be walking in. The Thermite on his own.
34
right in the center of the site. There's no other way. He's got to take the gunfight, but Rexon's going to pop the shield there, and actually Kala is going to win the gunfight. He does have that diffuser.
The Yokai
hand.
Still up to ping.
Is it? Can we check?
I saw pings coming out. I'm assuming those are from the Yokai. Or an Evil Eye is still up.
Give him the info. Kala's going to be able to go for the plant here, and Rexon knows where he's at. He's going to watch for the head. Turn around the corner. I dare you. Each player saying it to the other. Pre-firing Rexon! The 3K to clutch the round. Call out is dead. And there's the 4-0 up for Luminosity this time. It got way closer.
Such little health left for Rexon as well.
This man
lost that.
How do you... honestly, I am so impressed by Luminosity and how they are playing this season.
I like the adaptation from eUnited, though, trying to pressure a lot more from the archive side. Take advantage of the fact that they had, their shield's a little more spread up, but also they didn't put it in a way that was going to slow down an Office's take and to take from archives. Instead, they were still very focused on having a solid defense for their armory lockers and, well, a good flank there. That, unfortunately, the Maestro being a little bit lower on bullets at 34, you saw him kind of spacing out his shots. That's kind of what cost him, actually. If he had left his finger on the trigger and just swept the gun a little bit more, he actually might have been able to hit the head because he was caught between shots. Or at least he might have been able to trade. We will see Vents again here. Now 4 in a row, looking pretty good for Luminosity. Even if they lose the next two, a 4-2 split is pretty good.
Attackers
Switching
need to
over.
locate and defuse as many bombs.
There's a lot of pressure on them to switch out. They are actually going to go for an Echo here on Vents. We were just talking about it being kind of difficult to keep him alive, but Slash is going to chance it because he wants that additional pressure between the Yokai and the Maestro Evil Eyes. Just really make it hard because you've also got additional utility you have to deal with. I talked about, like you have to decide what you kill. I believe Slash is likely going to be bringing his shield again, so that's going to be in there. Also, there's going to be 2 Maestro Evil Eyes and 3 Castle Barricades. So the Zofia is going to have to make choices because it's very likely that they're going to have to take out at least 1 Evil Eye and at least 1 Castle Barricade. And then choose, do we take out the shield? Do we take out the other Evil Eye? Do we take out more Castle Barricades? They're going to be a bit limited on what they do. And a lot of the Castle Barricade positions aren't necessarily ones where you can just walk up and smack them, like the bathroom, for example. Very risky to do that because they can just go prone in the bathroom, start shooting you in the feet. Especially if, let's say, they've got the Maestro in there, just go crazy on you, just unload on your legs.
By the way, I want an update on that Slash 1v3 clutch post on the subreddit.
Oh, they multiplied?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It was an exciting clutch.
It was pretty sweet. But here we are. Now, the gridlock hasn't really had that much of an effect because the entire point of this is to shut down people like Rexon.
Yeah.
But it's just not working at all, and I'm not really sure what to pin it on.
I mean, if you're inattentive to the tracks, they don't do much. Like, it's like the nomad air jabs. If it happens across the map, no one hears it. Did it happen?
Did it really happen?
I mean, it does slow down the defenders, I suppose, but both those more of a hindrance if you're not manning them. They're not unmanned flank coverage because you can just shoot them. So, or trigger them and then not be punished. Forrest looking to try and take inside armory lockers again this time. The Yokai rotating over a little unsafely, but managed to get away with. Nope. Don't do that.
Why?
Right in front of you. Slash, that was a very poor choice. You saw them, you could have just moved it to the side. I know he's trying to maybe stun to go for a push, but that was not the play.
Well, he does spot a drone downstairs, right outside the workshop. A lot of soft walls because Luminosity are putting a majority of their effort into the armor. Right?
Yeah.
I like their double reinforcement here to protect the entrance into jail, but Yeti's going to come in, and he does have the Thermite next to him as well in support. So this is
Gallium boxes.
This is the position that the Zofia was supposed to be in a couple rounds ago, where we saw Slash getting his clutch. But because so many of these walls are just soft, the Buck can do so much work later on, but also the Zofia. There's also breaching charges on IQ, so
45 seconds left though, and yet not a single scratch of damage on anyone, and then at least one yokai left up, probably some evil eyes as well. It's actually not very good position for attackers to be in right now. They don't even have control of armory lockers yet. If Luminosity plays this smart, there's almost no... Why is the plant going down? Call out, getting away with the freebie.
Hello? 2 kills for eUnited, and there's the diffuser. Oh my god, no. This is actually just all falling apart. Rexen and Hyena are the last 2 alive, and somehow within all the commotion, or actually the lack of it, all this ended up happening here on the backside of LG. Rexen missing the shot on Forest. Hyena last alive against the 4, and he gets shot in the face by Forest. Again, secondary shotgun doing work today.
All they had to do was deny the plant and play time. They had that round. Time was on their side. Manpower was on their side. Map control was on their side. But the one oversight, huge kudos to Call Out, though, for pulling that off. I mean, I'm sure it was a team effort, but that plant, that ballsy plant, just cost Luminosity the round. Well played. First round for for eUnited, though. Still not looking great for them. Still, like I said, if these 2 rounds are lost by Luminosity, a 4-2 split looks pretty good for them, still going to their attack. Reed going to 6-pick over to the IQ. Still want to have that, as Slash was showing the Echo. Is he going to 6-pick over to something else, or just... Might be changing his loadout. There you go. Elysian. Interesting choice. I feel like he was getting more value of the Yokais in terms of intel and plant denial, playing the time.
Attackers need to
But
locate and defuse
Good Minds will slow down the attackers as well. And Legion's overall just a great operator. So it's not a bad choice, especially if Slash wasn't able to stay very safe and secure himself while being on the yokai drones. But that being said, even if you don't sit on them, just position them in good spots where you can support a lot of either your roamers or anchors. You don't have to monitor them. Dead players can monitor them as well, start to ping out for you, things like that. Especially if you want to ping out people above you for C4 throws. Like, I don't know, you have a pulse. You likely, well, I guess that's the only C4 they can have. That also is not great, playing vents without multiple C4s.
Yeah.
Just because they can open up a lot of the floor without you being able to do a ton against it. But that being said, at least it's on a pulse, so it's more likely to hit. So it's not the worst. Could also be used, there are some smart pulse players who, if they're not running an IQ, in this case they are, but it was a 6-pick, they can pre-place one inside armory, just pulse for when they're actually going to push in if they're really not playing smart below.
Look, regardless, I think this is just the right operator pick for it, specifically the Legion.
Yeah.
The last round, what happened? You couldn't hear what was happening. You couldn't really get correct information because everybody's still alive and nobody's actually actively flicking through cameras because you're just watching. There's little time.
That's a good point about the downside of having all your players alive.
So, because really, in that case, if one of your players dies early, he just keeps flicking between all the cameras until he gets some sort of info on it.
Yeah.
Now, Slash bringing the Legion is basically an addition to
passive info.
It is passive info.
You still have to pay a little bit of attention, but yeah.
It's something that's very hard to miss, that's for sure. With all the audio cues, you know, it's kind of difficult.
I wonder if some of those tracks are going to jump down the hatch there.
Sure, that's a good point.
Here's the C4 attempt. And misses, unfortunately, too little too late. That's the problem with doing it yourself and not having it pre-placed or calling it up for somewhere else, is the slight delay between switching off. And I don't miss when you could fast switch off that. That was not fun to deal with.
No. So let's keep that in the dustbin of history where it belongs.
Pulse is in a good place right now.
Grixer is going to continue to drone up and make sure there's nobody pushing him right now. There's a few reinforcements he might have to deal with, and actually is one player right next to him here.
Again, Luminosity playing to their strengths, though, which is playing time on defense.
There's the stun. Yeti doesn't know. Oh, man.
It's such a common spot to be, too.
The castle, the pulse, excuse me. Seeing UMP. There's a second stun. They're not sure where he's at. They're thinking that he's close up to the desk, but Grixer is going to win the gunfight. There we go. Low on HP regardless, but still a lot. Reed with another one on to Hyena. Grixer still low. Slash, Factor, and Rex. Well, I was going to say all three of them, but now Factor and Rex and last two from Luminosity, as this half is looking like a 4-2 Victory still for Luminosity. No shotgun, that's an SMG-11. Factor with one, shotgun onto the second, and it turns to a 3v2. Much more doable now, but the Claymore perfectly placed from Grixer leaves Factor only one alive. Now, I don't want to call it before it's too late, but it's a 3v1, the smoke low HP. He's got 3 canisters, a shotgun, and a few magazines in the SMG-11. Zofia around the corner. She's doing more from behind. Oh no. Oh no. He's going to die directly to the Zofia. Factor low on HP. There's a smoke thrown out. Diffuser's not been set just yet. They need to walk on in. And there's the watch. Forrest going to drop down the hatch and find Factor running through the servers.
There it is, the 4-2 split. We saw it coming. Fortunately, there could possibly be some server issues. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, there were some issues. I was reading some of the tweets from Pengu. It looked like it is a thing.
Unfortunately, I mean, it's likely affecting both teams.
Yeah, it is affecting both teams. It's something though with the servers. So
yeah, there was
rehost
earlier today.
Even the rehost wouldn't do much.
Yeah, not entirely sure, but I think we will probably rehost anyways, just to give it a chance. It did seem to help a little bit earlier.
Next round.
But next round, yeah, we're gonna finish out this one first. Sounds like Call Out gonna 6th pick on the very first defense for them. Gonna sneak in a Kaid. Interesting choice there. And the Alibi as well. This looks like it could be a somewhat roamer heavy setup, depending on how the Kaid wants to play things.
Waiting for things to be typed out here for
many bombs as they can.
players. Oh, okay. Yes, the admins also have contact with their coaches directly via wire.
Yeah.
The actual match itself. So, yeah, we will be fine. We'll probably be going for a rehost in the next round, the start of the next round. But
very first Ashe today, as it was banned in the previous 2 matches.
yeah, who would have thought?
That's funny.
In 2020. Saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it worked out very well for a Canadian. I mean, I say him specifically because he mentioned why, but it could have been anyone on the team that suggested it.
So here we are, eUnited with their setup, and Mozzie, Grixer in this case, has reinforced jail. Force is bringing the alibis. You're going to see a ton of firepower.
We will actually see some people playing in CCTV. We really didn't see that much last time. I believe they threw an alibi outside. I love that trick, though, because if they don't shoot it, you really have to wonder when someone's really run outside because you're not paying attention at that point. You learn to ignore it.
And it just sticks on your screen wherever.
Yeah, it's fun to deal with. Drone lost there.
You're losing drones. You're checking around.
They're looking for something here now. Luminosity, we're good at burning time on the defense. eUnited gonna have to try and do the same. And they're holding CCTV is a good way to help do that. At the same time, Rexon, a little bit off his game right there. A little tilted about losing his drone, maybe. Slight miss of the throw. Could also have been, if he was experiencing some of that rubber banding, he might have just slightly missed it.
That happens.
Possibly. It could be something that happens. So I don't want to fault him too much.
Yep. It is a thing right now, so we kind of have to deal with that part of it. So
Rex needs some support on this. Grenades could possibly come out. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Unfortunately, they didn't clear ADS first. He did throw all... No, maybe it was a pocket ADS because he threw all 3 stuns.
One of them didn't hit. It bounced outside.
That's right. That's the...
So
didn't get the second one.
Yeah, see,
oh,
like...
what a waste.
If he had cleared it, then unfortunately this is what it comes down to.
Maybe the Thermite could have come over there with flashes if he doesn't have Claymore.
At least you can use a breaching charge there to maybe do some damage, but no, they're just going to be used on the floorboards. There's Jaeger right around the corner, and Yeti's going to find one, but shot down by Slash, actually, in support. His teammates here, Doodle. Oh, stay for just a second. The Maestro's going to fall back, but he keeps on firing. If he only lowered his sights a bit, Collet's going to take down Slash. Right now, it's everything going eUnited's way. As Luminosity find themselves on the back foot.
They're looking so good before. Now they're looking like they're really just unsure of how to penetrate this attack. It's taking a lot of coordination, a lot of utility just to try and find 1 kill on Yeti. Forrest is pretty low on health, though, and would be good to pick him off second. But that's going to leave a Mozzie and a Maestro, 2 very powerful defenders still left, with at least 1 C4 there available. You're going to have the Kaid as well, who could try and deny, and they have no Hard Breacher or Thatcher, so they're not going to get any walls open if they didn't already. Although it looked like there might have been some access there to fight. Oh, Forrest is going to find, even with his low health, a second freebie from Grixer on the jump in.
Everybody downstairs as well. This is a big problem here for LG. They never went downstairs as well to deal with it. Players through it, and Hyena's going to have half of his screen blocked off by the AUG right now. as he tries to rescue whatever is left in this round.
Coordination on this attack just is not there.
Default cam just got shot, didn't it?
15 seconds
The lack of
left.
intel, so yeah, they just now shot it.
All right,
Yeah.
well, this round is done.
10
If you're
seconds to
LG,
go.
you're just talking about the problems that you had in the round.
Hyena should just board the bus.
Honestly,
seconds left.
who would have thought that one missed stun grenade might have really been the whole, like, maybe that would have been the opener of
Operator,
just
you are
dealing
out of time.
with...
It's not just a miss a stun grenade from
CCTV.
the Ash, it's also the lost drone. Because they just lacked a lot of intel on, for example, that hole in the floor that he jumped right into. Had he been able to drone that out properly, it might have worked out a little bit better. Obviously, we're going to go for the rehost now, so it's going to take us a few minutes to do so. We've got to put in 7 rounds worth of gameplay.
all the digits and all the numbers.
Yeah, so we got to make sure to do that. And of course, you don't want to do it too quickly. You end up
Yeah,
messing it up.
we're waiting for the info because right now, at least from the way that I
Oh.
understand it, the actual problem is with servers themselves. So
Okay.
even rehosting wouldn't.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Yeah,
Alright.
it wouldn't really matter.
They're not G2. They're not blessed by the server gods, as Pengu was pointing out earlier.
Yeah, but even for him, he was pointing out at other players,
Yeah.
and even Rogue and Empire had some of their.
Well, that's why he was, because he didn't have to suffer it. He's like, must be nice, guys. And then, of course, they did pretty well in their match. I'm not going to spoil the results, but they did pretty well.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are good without that rehost, so we're gonna
Okay.
waltz on in back to the game.
Very thankful for that, as rehosting with 7 rounds already done takes quite a while.
Yeah,
We don't need a momentum loss. These guys just want to get it done.
Honestly, I'm all for it.
Well, eUnited on the comeback train here, but of course defense was very good for Luminosity as well, so eUnited can try to do the same, but it was really Luminosity, honestly, with a very poor attack. I would hope they could rectify that this time. They looked a little bit sloppy. Coordination wasn't quite there. I mean,
5 seconds left.
just
4:30.
losing 2 grenades to ADS, whether they were trying to burn that on purpose or not, that's not a worthwhile trade, and it didn't even really result in a whole lot coming out of that.
There you go. Are you alive, buddy?
Trying to stay alive here.
Staying alive, staying alive. Well, that's what Luminosity are trying to do right now, is just stick into this game and stay alive through it, right? That first attack was definitely just pitiful. It was basically a limp noodle against what eUnited had. They didn't have an answer to CCTV, and there was a softball as well. If you saw, the entirety of Armory was soft, so it allowed the Maestro to also do his own work, peeking around every now and then. That doesn't help you. You don't have your back that's just completely safe, and in this case as
Factor.
well, Factor gets shot down very low on
They're
health.
both low.
They're pretty much on the same level
That's like a
right now.
HP trade instead of a kill trade.
And they're 2 operators that... Okay, well, that's great.
Oh, there we
Hyena
go.
finds one. Rexon with another one on the Yeti.
Much better attack this time.
There you go. It's all off of kills and reverse repel. Who would have thought?
Yeah. For those of you who aren't aware, reverse propel got a little bit stronger when they moved the camera up into the head more from the neck. Because of the way angles work and all that trigonometry kind of stuff, you get a little bit more advantage on upside down repels now. And that's all.
One day, I hope we will be done with all of that.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh,
Ooh,
there's
nice
Reed!
push.
1 kill and 2 for Reed!
What a good trade, though.
Forrest uses his nitro cell, though. That's really the problem. I wonder why there wasn't a claymore that was set on the east stairs. Or if it was, how he got shot down so easily. He just turned around the corner and got 2 for free. This is what happens. Those things that we take for granted can really come back and bite you. You might be thinking like, hey, they always do it. Why do you need to keep doing it
Your
all the
puck,
time?
you could have made that pull bigger. He's
Stealthy.
frantic right now.
Stealth.
Very true, very true. It is going to be a lot stealthier to do it that way.
Well, since the officers are taken, you can go in for a plant here, slash. Kind of go in and walk. There's a barricade now.
Yeah.
That's something you're going to deal with.
Might end up seeing a thermite charge on it at this point.
I mean, you have one of them, so you can... I don't know how the reinforcements are, because there was so much that was put up in armory, right? Can
Yeah.
we take a look at it? Yeah, there we go. So, okay, so there's a reinforcement in the stock room, but everything else is soft.
Got a castle barricade on the door to B as well.
So you can definitely walk in from the hallway. If Hyena is able to find the kill and call out, though, that would be the huge play right now. He pre-fires and he gets it.
Oh.
There we go. In my books, this round is pretty much done and dusted. Thermite charge is going to be used as Forrest is left on low HP and is going to be diving down here to fight. But as he drops, Hyena is watching for him. Diffuser would have been set anyways. Luminosity. Finally.
I was going to say, if he was able to pull that clutch off, it would have been even more impressive than Slash's.
That's very true.
Just because he was so low on health from the very beginning of the round. surviving that long and actually getting pretty close. Still pretty impressive, but nonetheless, Luminosity now 1 round away from guaranteeing themselves a point. Bathroom Tellers with Goyo? No. Maybe he's going to 6-pick to the Goyo. Because he doesn't want to give them the opportunity to 6-pick to another operator that can destroy the shields, which in this case would be the Zofia. So I like the idea. That's what he's going for there. Because they only have the Ashe and the Buck. So it is smart of him to not reveal that to show the Kaid. Instead, Bathroom Tellers we will go. Oh no, he's going to decide to go with the Castle because, well, you need it for the site. They really should have planned that out a little bit better. I mean, you're not going to just put the Goyo shields in the doorway and hope that does as good a job. Definitely is not going to. So, but he's going to be bringing the Echo, though. It is going to be a little bit tricky to find a position to hang out in that you're not going to be heavily contested. On the Echo, you can somewhat hang out in Tellers. In a few spots, they're not likely to be pushing anytime early. You get the ability to hang out for a little while. But it is tricky. You know they're going to penetrate the top floor at some point, so you probably are not going to be able to play there unless you can rotate down the hatch later. Downstairs is going to get pushed somewhat early as well to open it up, soften it.
Bomb located by attackers.
So it's tricky.
10 seconds left.
If LG can win this round, though, which is the off-bomb site,
5 seconds to go.
it's pretty good. This is risky going here instead of sticking vents because, like I said, that guaranteed 1 point for LG. If you lose, this is the harder bomb site, then you lock yourself out of your chance. However, that being said, if they won vents, they'd still have to go here anyways, or customs. So, you know,
Play it first.
either way.
I guess play it first, get it out of the way.
Yeah, then you know where you stand at that point, and you can go back to vents, or actually you'd be able to go back to armory lockers, which is, I'm sure, what they're counting on. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah, had they gone to vents again here, they'd just be able to go back to armory lockers, not have to go to Tellers now that I think about it. So, yeah, I think vents probably would have been a better choice unless they really felt that last round went poorly and would not be salvageable by adjustments.
Yeah, this is really what guides the decision-making for pro teams.
Yeah, you really have to think about this stuff. There's a lot of strategy to site choice and all the bands that come out.
Rotation.
Even the 6-picks.
Yep. So honestly, do not underestimate that. Having the players in, but also having a coach to kind of help them out, guide them through all of this, and how to create those boxes in your head to not be overwhelmed by the amount of information.
That's why all this stuff is not available in quick play.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of difficult.
Oh, the old chimney grenade.
Yep, and down it goes.
Early Christmas for Yeti.
Christmas 2020.
Yeah. Ice Bandit tricking from Forest. He's waiting for that grenade to come deny him now, though, because he just tricked it. They know. He knows. Everyone knows. Just waiting. He knows it's coming.
They're trying
Can
to
he get 2? Can he get 2 for 2?
Oh, no.
Impressive. No.
It bounced the first time.
He could have been 2 for 2.
It bounced over the edge, and then it tumbled down.
Really killing Yeti was actually the worst of the outcomes, because had they killed the Bandit, that would have been a lot more doable. So that wall denied now, a lot of utility spent. At least they killed Yeti for it, but now they've got to pivot. They cannot take offices. They've got to go around to a different approach.
All right, the Ashe going to rotate into ventilation. Drop from there. I'd assume you can hear the G36 rattling off, so usually it is your powerful position here. It just takes about a bit of damage off of dropping down, and Doodle's going to waste no time to walk in. Can he find one player that's around the corner? No! There's actually call-out. That's sitting with a 10-14? What?
All right.
What? A castle with a shoddy? What's going on today?
I mean, we've seen a Jaeger M870 on this defense before from the French team, so I believe it was Millennium at the time, so.
That is so weird.
That's. I mean, you know, you play shotguns because it's close quarters battles.
Oh, Doodle, what a great shot there. He even flicks around the corner just for good measure. At 28 seconds left, you can still push down onto the site without worrying much. But this is basically where things get into shape for LG. Call out, though, left with a shotgun. He sprays, but that range, you're not going to hit anyone. Hyena collects the last kill.
Well, this is where LG going on defense first pays off because they collected 4 rounds there. Now they're up to that 6, guaranteeing themselves a point and keeping eUnited from sitting as comfortably on the top 4 as they were before. My luck, I get shottied in mid. Yeah, he was definitely not expecting that. Well played by the castle, but not quite enough to stop that attack. Reminds me of the one time we saw, why am I forgetting his name right now? England on Doc Shoddy on accident on Tellers on Bank.
Oh my god! And then
it worked.
Was it us casting it?
I think
That was
so.
Gamescom?
I think so.
2017.
Yeah, that was
oh my
that was
God.
hilarious.
That was ages ago. We're like, oh, we're trying to figure out what the real mindset behind this is.
It was an
Like,
accident.
It was a complete
I
accident.
left it on there from ranked probably.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
people really don't understand how many times
Attackers
like
need to
things
locate and
just
defuse
seem
as
to
many
somehow
bombs
make
as they
sense when pros do them, but half the time, if you ask them, they're like, we had no clue what we were doing.
Half the time we find out that things that happen were just miscommunications.
Yeah, and somehow they worked, or somehow they didn't.
Well, they are going to 6-pick to Goyo.
You can't pre-plan everything, Devin.
You can't?
Yeah, I
Tell
know.
that to the 3-man support team at this point of G2. They're trying.
Yeah?
Or apparently the 17 analysts that Intero said SSG have now.
10 seconds
Every day we're announcing a new analyst for Space Station.
Yeah. That's really how they fill out their social media team.
At this point, their Rocket League team is also part of their Rainbow Six analysis team and vice
Yeah.
versa.
bomb and defuse it.
Well, actually, guys, here you gotta just kind of place that space bar to jump there.
Half their strats are how to kick the ball, and they're like, there's no ball except for in favela, and we don't play that. Well, a Goyo shield.
Someone's gonna find that there's a ball somewhere else, and they're gonna say, "Ha! I got you there, Emzo.
would
You
not-
thought you were this hot
No,
shot
that would not
analyst."
surprise me at all,
Isn't
actually.
there one on consulate?
There's probably one on Outback, too, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I'm not
Who cares?
I'm not a big soccer fan.
I would not have. What? Oh yeah, it's just a vault on top.
Yeah, he's just clearing it so you can vault over the where the boxes are. Still a lot of time wasted to do this stuff. That one last little piece.
Oh my god. This is.
There
There you go.
They're trying it with Goyo this time. Maybe it'll work better.
They're just gonna be able to open it. Okay, it's like they're working on their own. They don't even need dude.
Yeah.
We already done it, dude. Like.
Now they don't have to open it
Attackers
as much as they
located a
would
bomb.
in the previous runs because it's not bathroom tellers. But they still want to go for an opposite side take, and they're less placed defensively on that side because it's not bathroom tellers. And there's no castle with a shotgun this round, so that helps. Rexon just going for the fast rotate around. I'm glad to see checking default cams. Very much appreciated, Rexon, that you make sure your team actually shot those. As I believe it was Rexon last time, right? Was it? That was stuck left, or maybe it was Hyena that was stuck left with the default cam that it had not been shot. Nice grenade attempt, does clear. Oh, but no, he's not ready to switch back his gun.
What?
He-
How?
Call out just completely fails that fight. Doodle takes a lot of damage, but you know what? Man advantage now. And they have the wall open. Now they have offices control. They have control of the AC unit. Rexon playing the upside down repel here as well. This is looking good for LG if they could just push from here.
Deal with the break.
Slightly undercooked.
Oh. Okay.
You have a skeleton key.
Skeleton
first
key,
off.
like.
I don't. We're just guessing what happened there.
Come on,
That was not
Let's
great.
macht so. Like, okay. Forrest's gonna be able to get Hyena there, but it's gonna get shot from the side of Forrest in 90. Rexon not able to respond quickly enough, and now it turns to a 3v4 advantage for eUnited. Versus Goyo still in play. You'd assume that there are still some of those Volcans somewhere. There's the Evil Eye, of course, strategy that was pioneered by Team Liquid.
He has to decide now. Do I take out some of those Goyo shields or do I take out those Evil Eyes? He's got one to his left. It's a Goyo shield. A volcanic shield. Rexon gets one. It's Yeti down.
Okay, are those two Volcans, or one of them was a normal shield?
I don't tell. Probably all Goyo ones because they didn't bring a smoke or an echo.
Flashbang around the corner, Rexon.
That's twice now.
To go.
Maybe go into T-Hunt practice.
Oh no, Grister's gonna get one read for the second, and it's all done and dusted. Rexon won't have any time to save this round here. He's watching, he's checking every angle, but he gets slapped in the face by Maestro. United, come back.
Yeah. It's... I mean, the upside for LG, of course, is they've guaranteed themselves the 1 point. But we're seeing a bit of sloppy play. Some of that could be due to if there is the server issues in that. I know I'm giving Rexon a bad time, but again, that could be out of his control.
Yeah.
As it could be like moving and then rubber banding slightly back to the position he was at, therefore hitting the corner. Things like that can happen. Unfortunately, it's not the best of circumstances, but I'm glad to see the players just pushing through it, making the best of it. Luminosity, of course, making the best of that so far, despite some of the flubs.
Also, don't use our perspective as an observer to be like you're 100%
Especially
everything
if
that's
there's
happening.
server issues.
Exactly. So
Because that's going to make it a little more inconsistent for us. Because if you think about it, everything has to be synced over to the server, then the server has to simulate everything, has to be sent back out to the players, which includes the spectator, which acts as a sort of player as well in terms of that situation. It's obviously not the server itself, it just talks to it to see what's going on. So
Hey,
all
how
that
you doing?
roundabout, yeah.
I'm doing very well.
It's a big party line full of chats that could be all off right now, so just keep that in mind.
Well, you would know as a programmer yourself.
Yeah. And Kix addressed a little bit earlier about the spectator camera and its positioning and how some of that can affect what we see being slightly different. So appreciate Kix for that explanation earlier during EU. We'll see if eUnited can manage to bring this back in a way that Reciprocity could not, or if Luminosity just say, we can even risk losing this round. We're going to close out the next one. This is Vents, a bomb site that they were unable to defend previously. We were talking about that and why they should just try it again. Let's see if they made any adaptations that are able to stop Luminosity, or if Rexon continues to throw his flashbangs back at himself.
So,
Nice start for Slash.
Okay.
Tippity tap, and there goes the Jaeger right away.
So that's a pretty good advantage here for Luminosity. Now, what do they decide to do? Do they rush into sight? No, they should be realizing that there's someone right above them. It's very difficult to deal with them from below, but they do have the buck, they have the ash. If Luminosity take Armory, then as usual, their plant in ventilation is very much doable.
Something to think about and consider is resource game-wise, getting an early kill like that actually buys you a little bit of extra time because it's someone now you don't have to deal with that can then speed up your take of the map control, depending on what they were controlling. So it is always good to get those early picks in terms of buying yourself extra droning time to make sure that the next few picks are at an advantage, using your man advantage well. You have extra people, you have extra drones, you have extra time. So yeah, early picks. There's a reason why those stats back up a lot of times. Early picks, like whoever gets the opening pick, oftentimes will win a match.
Yeah.
It is because you get all this extra benefit from an early kill.
Indeed.
So something to consider. Factor with a nice drone spot there. Uncontested. Rexon as well. I like this. That's what I'm talking about, that extra time. They're using it to pre-position their drones. Amazi does not have any pests left in his pocket to capture, just takes it out. However, did get some intel first on the positioning of Amazi, who's likely to move at least a little bit. However, things have slowed down a bit for Luminosity. They're gathering intel, but they need to start executing on some of that intel to try and get at least another pick or some more map control, as they're entering jail a little bit late because of all that droning. So hopefully most of those drones survived.
I wonder if there was a mute jammer there to really stopping those.
Yeah, the mute Mozzie will do that. That's why you saw some of them up on top positions.
No, Rexon's gonna get a bit of damage done to him from the servers. And there is one walking inside of 90. Right around the corner, there's the shot, and there's the kill. Rexon on the floor, difficult to spot him. Can't fault Yeti for it, but still, he goes down. And these dreams are falling apart right now for eUnited.
Yeah, be careful about throwing that grenade on a door frame.
You're really going to have to force Grixter out of position right now. And indeed, they're able to do so, but if they can get the kill and confirm it, that's the big one. Reed might be looking out for a kill, but Doodle turns around and finds the headshot. Rexon walks in. They should be getting any information there on that mute who just dropped. Actually, he's going to get shot in the face. Call out won't be flashed. It's a flawless round from Luminosity as they pick off every single eUnited member before walking down into the site. 7-4.
Very good 7-4 from Luminosity as well. Looking pretty confident. eUnited, a little bit of struggle. They did play pretty well, though. Given the situation, they had some good rounds. Capitalized sometimes on mistakes from LG as well, and that's what you want to do. But at the end of the day, LT was the more victorious team with 7-4. Their solid defenses early on really bought them a lot of extra mileage on their attack rounds because, you know, there was 2 attack rounds won on either, or 2 rounds won on either side of the split by eUnited, and well, that's not enough. So goes to show, get those early rounds, and that's why it benefits to have the side you want to be on for the map, whether it be favored to that side or just favored to the way you want to play that map. Starting that out, getting those early points does help. You have the ability to reach 6 first, put a lot of pressure on the other team to try and come back. And sometimes that can cause them to make mistakes because they're so concerned about, we lost it, all we can fight for is a tie. Sometimes that's enough to deflate players a fair bit.
You're like, do we really want to fight it? We just want to
go and
relax.
Yeah, it's 1 versus 0. That matters at the end of the season, trust me.
It does.
Just ask Rogue.
As is G as well.
I mean, Rogue especially knows it Slash especially knows it being on Rogue. So yeah, it really makes a difference, especially at the end of the season, especially with the way points shake out in how competitive all these regions are. All of them, it very much matters. So eUnited does not manage to get that point, but LG looking decent this season, going to probably help bring themselves off that bottom 4 that we saw them on earlier on the standings at the beginning, but it depends on how everything goes down in the last match as well, potentially. I'm not.
Yeah,
entirely
a
sure.
lot of people might be asking, when does Bolo play? It's right after this, by the way.
Yeah.
Bolo Oates.
Hopefully, we'll get an interview with him if they win, because they don't always bring him. But if they win, they've been on a hot streak, so you never know. Just like I said earlier, be careful what you say to Merc early on. Call out, learn that lesson, and
I hope AG learned their lesson, of course, in playing SSG previous day. So
yeah, a lot of lessons to be learned so far this season already.
which is great. I mean, we're spending the first 2-3 days of Pro League just kind of people making mistakes and then learning very quickly out of
Let's
them, or
hope.
trying
Let's
to learn ASAP.
If some other
All
team
of it.
takes SSG to Clubhouse, then
Anything
we'll
specific
have
you'd like
see.
to ask?
At this point, I mean, you could ask if the flashbang bounces were due to the issues or not, but I don't think it's really that important.
Okay, well, we have our interview up, so let's pull it up and have a quick chat with LG. Evening, Hyena. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, playing through this, you're coming in against eUnited. The team has really been showing off, but it looked like your team cohesion is really working well right now. Slash really integrating with the squad. Rexon going and doing the work that he does with the team. How is it trying to communicate to clear out eUnited? Because especially Yeti, he was really trying to run around the map and confuse you the whole time.
Yeah, during these last few weeks, we really worked on our drone game a lot and our communication. And I feel like in this match specifically, it helped us out a lot because we could catch the guys that weren't playing in the site or were trying to make a rat play in the back. So it just helped us be a lot more prepared for the match.
So there wasn't much of an influence that we saw Goyo in this game. It was played a couple times, but when you come in and you want to decide which shield do I destroy, should I be using utility on it as an Ashe, as a Zofia, how do you kind of prioritize and set yourself up for it, and how do you communicate that to your teammates so you know what's still available later on in the round?
I feel like it depends where the shield is, because obviously, you want to try and keep utility up to clear the Maestros or whatever else. So, I mean, obviously, if it's a problem, you can't continue with the clear without getting rid of the shield, then you're going to want to, use a Zophia's charge or an Ashe charge to get rid of it. But if not, you can really just leave it. Typically, they'll shoot them to fall back, so we never really thought Goyo was an issue.
Did you feel that by the end of the game, Mozzie was becoming a bit of a problem for you? Were you losing some drones to it? Because you guys started to enter quite a bit from jail, enter from there into vents, control the map from that location. Did the Mozzie at any point really stop you from doing that or slow you down?
Yeah, in my opinion, this mute Mozzie meta that everyone's doing now, it's really annoying because it just it makes everything so random because you can't get info, so it's a lot of the times you're taking gunfights blind and there's really nothing you can do about it sometimes. So it definitely did play a factor into not having info and to having to make calls on the fly.
All right, that said, congratulations again on your victory here against eUnited. Anything you'd like to say to the fans out there?
Thanks to all our supporters. We appreciate it. We will be back Wednesday. See you then.
Yeah, and on Wednesday, very specifically, who are you playing against? You're playing against TSM, so yeah, that's going to be a hell of a game. I can tell you that much.
Going to be a lot of typing.
Yeah, and that is our match of the night. Of course, there's no typing good nights in chat until it's over. I think we've all learned that, right?
Of course.
All right, well, congratulations again, Hyena. We'll see you in that game against TSM in just a couple days. Good night.
Have a good one.